Everybody, I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. Good evening to all of you, and I would like to call to order the continuation of the statutory hearing pursuant to Chapter 23K, Section 17C, that we began on December 3rd of last year when we were in this beautiful hall surrounded by Christmas trees that I understand all were sold, and the proceeds went to the charities that they normally serve. This evening's proceedings are limited in scope. They're designed to focus on the major changes that have occurred since the December 3rd meeting, and will focus on comments about the surrounding community agreements between the applicant, PPE Casino Resorts, and the town of Bolton and the town of Fitchburg. And the topics and the comments that we'll receive tonight will be limited to those subjects as our notice of the meeting suggested. To start off, the order of events tonight will be a brief welcome from the mayor, we look forward to hearing from, and then a brief presentation by a representative of the applicant, and then we'll open the floor for the comments from those who have signed up to speak. And then we will close the hearing, and then that marks, as I'll say at the end and explain in greater detail, an important milestone for this process. Unfortunately, Chairman Crosby and Commissioner Cameron had conflicts that prevented them from being with us tonight. We're here because of the fact that the closing of this hearing does begin a time clock, and we wanted to keep that clock running. So without further ado, but with enormous thanks for your hospitality, Mayor Massarella, I look forward to your comments.
Thank you. Just want to welcome you to the city again.
Thank you.
And in keeping with the scope of comments tonight, I won't make any because I think mine have been made, and we're hoping that everyone will stay within that scope tonight. But let me just say it's been an interesting process. I've been mayor for 20 years. I just started my 21st year, and I never thought I'd be involved in a process like this. So as I have said, we're pioneers to some extent. And it's been an interesting, and I've been very impressed by the process. It's not only interesting, but impressive, and I think you've done a wonderful job and deserve a little pat on your back. And you've been more than fair and willing to listen to as many people that wanted to come here to this auditorium last time, and I think it was around 5 hours. So I'm glad you got to come here pre-holiday to see all of the trees and learn a little bit about who we are, and a picture of my mother and Johnny Appleseed and everybody else in between. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Snyder, on behalf of the applicant, would you like to make a presentation?
Thank you, Mr. McHugh. I'm Jeff Snyder. I'm Vice President of Development and the Development Director for this project for the Quarters Companies. We're really here after the multiple times that we've testified before the Commission. We're here really to listen. We're very proud of the fact that we've signed agreements with all 6 of the surrounding communities, including Bolton, and then also we signed an agreement with Fitchburg, which we're very gratified that we were able to sign, even though they were not designated a surrounding community. So again, we thank you, and if you have any questions, I'm here to answer, but really I'm here to listen tonight and to close this session and hopefully get to the end of the process. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Snyder. I want to, before you sit down, I want to congratulate you, and I want to congratulate the officials of Fitchburg and the officials of Bolton. I know Mr. Lowe is here someplace tonight in the back, for reaching voluntarily the surrounding community agreements that you were able to reach. The fact that you were able to do so allows us to move forward with this process more quickly than we would have been able to do otherwise. And more importantly, the kinds of agreements that you can reach consensually, voluntarily, by sitting down at a table and talking over sometimes difficult issues are far better than the agreements that could come out of arbitration or be constructed involuntarily. So I congratulate all of you who participated in the process for reaching that result.
Thank you.
I note as well that Representative Rosa is here tonight. He was here at the last meeting, a strong interest in this. I understand, Representative Rosa, that you do not wish to speak tonight, but I want to note your presence. All right, sir. Thank you very much. That raises an important point. We have, in addition to those who've signed up to talk tonight, received a number of comments by email and by letter. All of those are comments that we've read. There are some that have come in very recently, and we will continue to read all of those. You may be assured that we pay close attention to all of them. And I also note that Mr. Marchand is here, the president of the City Council. Do I have that correct? Is here, but I understand does not want to speak either. So with noting the presence of those gentlemen, I'm prepared to move forward now with those who've signed up to speak. We are going to limit, as I mentioned, and as the notice of the hearing mentions, the commentary to commentary on those two agreements. And we are going to have, as the order of notice also mentioned, a 5-minute time limit. We've, for the assistance of everybody, brought a timer here, which we'll start as each person speaks so that we can keep track of the time. And with that in mind, I'm going to go in the order that we have people on the sign-up sheet. And the first of those is Mary Healy, if I've got that correct. Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you. My name is Mary Hafey.
Hafey, I'm sorry.
Good Irish name. I am the CEO of the Arc of Opportunity in North Central Massachusetts, located in Fitchburg. The Arc is a 62-year-old civil and human rights movement supporting people with disabilities and their families. Our office is located in Fitchburg. We're the largest employer in downtown Fitchburg, and we contribute greatly to the Fitchburg economy. As I said, we support people with disabilities throughout North Central. My suspicion is that many of the folks in the room are friends and neighbors, go to church with, and know the people we support. What I want to be clear about is that that group of people has a 77% unemployment rate, far greater than the rest of the population, even in a tough economy. The reason the ARC is supporting this initiative is because of the Cordish Group's commitment to employment of this grossly underserved population. Not only are we talking about jobs, real jobs that add meaning to people's lives, that allow them to be taxpayers, but also to design training that will help us skill build in the area of customer service. Maybe that will benefit the people who have jobs with the Cordish Group, but it will also benefit other employers as well. The ARC has a legacy of changing lives of people with disabilities one person at a time. We focus on individuals. We help people find jobs that are meaningful to them. Not everyone will want to work in this environment, but many people do. As adults, if I met any of you in another setting, we would rapidly discover, so what do you do for work? That's the way that adults get to know each other. And if you are somebody who's been chronically unemployed because you have a disability, you don't have that entry into the adult world. And your identity becomes, I'm a person with a disability. I have a disability, but it's not the first thing you're going to know about me, because as many people with disabilities who are competent and capable and able to work, there are many other features to them. The Cordish Group is really offering a foot in the door that will change lives. They will partner with us to do that. So I want to stress that for us, it will mean employment. It will mean fueling the economy when those dollars go back to pay for shopping and food and everything else. And that we are very much in support and hope that the Commission will recognize that this will help us change the lives of people with disabilities. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Ziemba reminded me that on the agenda is an opportunity for the representatives of the town of Bolton and the town of Fitchburg, surrounding communities, to speak. Mr. Lowe, if I didn't understand that you did, but if you do, we'd welcome your comments.
Thank you, Commissioner. Don Lowe, Town Administrator for Bolton. I will be unusually brief. First of all, I would like to thank the Commission. I think the Commission has been has run a very open process. I think you've run a very fair process, and you've shown great wisdom in granting Bolton its surrounding community status that it sought through its petition, so thank you for that on behalf of the town of Bolton. The only other thing that I would like to say is that having been granted the surrounding community status and having been given an additional 30 days with which to negotiate with Cordish, I think we used the time well. Selectman Larry Delaney and I negotiated directly with Joe Weinberg, the CEO and managing partner. We had 3 or 4 teleconferences, which were conducted in a very civil and business-like manner. We were always able to stay on point. We had a very data-driven discussion, and we finally arrived at an agreement that we thought was probably about as fair as we were going to be able to get within the construct of the law. So again, I would like to just acknowledge that I thought Cordish did deal with us quite fairly and even-handedly, and that's pretty much all I have to say unless the Commission has any questions for me.
Colleagues? Will I offer to you face-to-face then the same congratulations I offered a minute ago? I think the fact that you were able to sit down and reach this agreement is a service to your constituents and to the process in general. So
Right. Thank you.
congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Lowe. And Mr. John Barrett from the city of Fitchburg. Good evening, Mr. Barrett.
Thank you, Judge McHugh and Commissioners. I'm John Barrett. I'm the city solicitor for Fitchburg. And the only thing that I come here tonight to do would be to just read for you the letter from the Mayor Lisa Wong, to Joe Weinberg on behalf, at the time in which the city did agree to the surrounding community agreement that we came to reach with PPE. So if I can just state the letter, it's addressed again to Mr. Joseph Weinberg, President of PPE Casino Resorts Mass, LLC. Dear Mr. Weinberg, enclosed, please find the surrounding community agreement, which has been approved by the City of Fitchburg. The City has agreed to enter into this agreement expressly based on the commitments made by PPE Casino Resorts Mass, LLC, that will be hiring residents of Fitchburg, contracting with local businesses, and using local vendors. I look forward to sitting down with you and working out the actionable steps that can be taken to achieve these commitments. While the money offered in this agreement is less than we believe necessary to address the impacts to our community, we will seek such funds from the Community Mitigation Fund as are needed to address these concerns. The City of Fitchburg's motivation has always been to seek the most beneficial proposal for the residents of Fitchburg and to seek a stronger commitment to support local employment as well as the local economy. Sincerely, Lisa A. Wong, Mayor, and it's also signed by Jody Joseph, the City Council President. And that's really all I had to say, Judge McHugh. Just to state, I guess, that we look forward, if the application is approved, look forward to working with PPE and hopefully to the benefit of the whole area.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett, and please offer the same congratulations to the mayor that I offered earlier tonight.
Okay, thank you.
All right, now the next person I have on the list is Peter Ingham. Ingemi. All right, Mr. Ingemi.
Good evening. My name is Peter Ingemi. I'm a nationally known writer and blogger and a syndicated talk show host here in Massachusetts, but I'm also a resident of Fitchburg, and that's why I've taken off my hat and scarf, because I'm appearing here as a resident of Fitchburg rather than as a reporter for the next few minutes. As a person who's lived in Fitchburg all their life, I certainly understand the desire to bring any kind of new employment to the area, and it's a very sweet and tempting thing, especially for a person like me who has sons who have not been able to find better work in order to try and keep them there. But I have to say that while it's a temptation, I think it's basically a piece of wax fruit. It looks very, very nice, and it looks very good when you put it on the table, but once you take a bite, it's not going to be as tasty as you think it is. I'm sure that the agreement was negotiated in good faith, and I'm sure that the City Council and the people involved did their best. But I think that the social costs that will especially hit a place like Fitchburg and will spill over to Leominster are not being properly considered or addressed. Right now in Fitchburg, for example, you can buy EBT cards on Water Street, not far from where I live, for 50 cents on the dollar, so that the people selling them can buy cigarettes and alcohol. Once there's a gaming parlor in Leominster, that's going to seem like nothing. The money that is normally spent on lottery tickets, which is in itself a dubious process, a tax on the poor as I call it, is going to be spent at these slot parlors. So in terms of we may gain money from the agreement, but we will lose money in other gambling that the state has already sanctioned. And I feel that not only is it going to be a tax on the poor in the area, but the social costs from increased crime, from break-ins and the like, that will come from this. Because as gambling, anyone who's had an addiction will tell you that gambling is as strong an addiction as anything else, from alcohol to drugs, from whatever. And in a community that's already depressed, where you already have a large amount of people on assistance who are, taxed by gambling already in the hopes of getting out of a bad situation, I feel that although the agreement, again, I assume the good faith of the mayor, I assume the good faith of the people looking to open a business as a free market type. Of course, there are big advantages, and I understand those advantages. But I feel that the current agreement and the costs, the social costs for Fitchburg, and the social costs which will not remain in Fitchburg, which will spill over to the surrounding communities, is much higher than anyone wants to acknowledge. Now, I would be thrilled to be wrong about this. If you choose to put the slots parlor in Leominster and what I believe is going to happen doesn't happen, and my sons end up getting good jobs there, no one will be happier than me. But given the realities of the situation, I think that this is a that, with all due respect to the people of Leominster who voted overwhelmingly for this by 60%, I think that this will be a bad agreement for Fitchburg. I think it'll be a bad agreement for Leominster. And I would urge both the people and the commission to think long and hard before they approve the parlor in this particular area. Thank you very much.
All right. All right, sir. Thank you, Mr. Njemi. The next person on the list is Linda Racine. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Linda Racine, and I'm a Fitchburg resident and Executive Vice President of Rollstone Bank and Trust, a 168-year-old Fitchburg-based company, local community bank. We urge the MGC to license the PPE Casino Resort Mass application. The Cornish company extended a surrounding community agreement to Fitchburg. After the MGC determined there is no adverse impact qualifying the city for one, is yet another example of the regional understanding and approach. The agreement is fair and includes Fitchburg among those communities eligible for future mitigation if needed. The local economy needs the construction and permanent jobs, commercial activity of the operating casino, and the visitor traffic to be generated to the attractions. We support the establishment of the slot parlor in Leominster because we believe it will be an ongoing benefit to Fitchburg residents and businesses as well as the entire region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Racine. Next on the list is Anthony Mercandati. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, members of the Commission. My name is Tony Mercadante. I'm 54 years old, and I'm a lifelong resident of Fitchburg. Having lived in 3 separate areas of the city over my lifetime, I am quite familiar with the traffic conditions throughout the entire city. My business, Mercadante & Mercadante PC, is a certified public accounting firm, and it's located in downtown Fitchburg, 29 Mechanic Street, just beyond the Upper Common section of Main Street. The business was founded in 1960 by my father, and I have worked there full-time since 1981. Casino gambling and gaming is not a passion for me. I can state that I have never been to any of the operations in Rhode Island or Connecticut. From a personal perspective, it is likely that my wife and I would visit the new facility on occasion, but I can safely state that we would not be frequent patrons. That being said, I have no issue with other residents of the area and surrounding communities enjoying the facility. I understand that some citizens will have a problem with gambling addiction. However, given the fact that weekly bus tours, mainly for our retired citizens, are run from this area to casinos in Connecticut and Rhode Island, I would be in favor of keeping this business in the North Central County. Most importantly, my understanding is that the slots casino will create 600 new permanent jobs in the area. I am strongly in favor of this business locating to Leominster to create local jobs. Further, there will likely be additional benefit to the area based upon increased economic activity for businesses located near the casino. As a resident and business owner in Fitchburg, I see a direct benefit to the city, and that some of these new jobs undoubtedly will be provided to Fitchburg residents. Finally, as I mentioned above, I am quite familiar with the traffic conditions all over the city of Fitchburg and the problems that exist at peak hours. It is my opinion that the location of the Slots Casino in southeast Leominster, located near Route 190 and Route 117, will have little or no effect on traffic conditions in Fitchburg. Further, having reviewed the surrounding towns' community agreement, it's my understanding that Fitchburg would be able to petition the Commission for relief in the event that some unforeseen condition may be caused by the location of the Slots Casino. Again, as a resident and business owner of Fitchburg, I am in strong favor of the proposed Slots Casino in Leominster. I thank you for the time to speak.
Thank you, sir. Next is Stephen Cote. Stephen Cote? Yeah.
All right, my name's Stephen Corey. I live here in Leominster. I hope you guys are enjoying the cold here. But
Well, we're all enjoying the cold, I suppose. Yeah, it's nice to be in a warm place, though.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Snyder's enjoying it too. So, but yeah, I agree with Fitchburg being part of it. But if you make it on record that Fitchburg's one of the highest crime rates in the state of Massachusetts, and when it happens, when you bring that here, when there's a lot of activity here, that crime transfers over. And when you have a casino here, there's a lot of crime, because I've been out to the one in Iowa upon visiting family a couple years ago, and I saw things go down there. And I've seen drunken visitors that the workers just stood there and didn't bother to help. And I also noticed when I've been to that casino in Foxwoods a couple years ago that I've seen mostly big chains, and that strikes me as kind of odd, because they're going to do business with the big chains in order to bring business back to the city and back to Fitchburg and back to Bolton, is to invest in small businesses. because when you invest in small businesses, you help them expand, you help them employ more locals in the area. What it also does is that it breaks up family values, because a lot of divorces occur across the state, especially this area, because of lack of money. And families should not go through that. Alcohol is a big issue about families breaking up. And Leominster does not need that at all. And Leominster is a strong family city. I have a family here for decades. And when you bring in big chains and big businesses that are going to provoke people to do really unnecessary things and really stupid things that are going to break them up, it's going to happen. It's going to create abuse. It's going to create violence. It's women and children. So, and that is included. It's shameful. And like I said, it's not going to work out for small businesses. It's not going to work out for senior citizens. And what we need to do is we need to stick here to small businesses, reinvest in small business here. It's not big change. And this is just coming from a future senator from Massachusetts. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Next is Charlie Valera. Valera?
That's all right.
Sorry.
That's close.
I'm having...
Well, I guess, the glass is either half empty or half full. I happen to be in favor of the proposal from the Cordish Group. I own a flight center, a flight school down at the Fitchburg Airport, and I also help run a Skyline flight, which is an air charter and air taxi service in Fitchburg. The airport is a pretty big deal down there. We have an awful lot of traffic coming in and out of there, and I think that it's an opening for the city of Fitchburg to prosper. I actually think that there's a great opportunity here to ride the success from a successful company, the Cordish Group, and bringing in some commercial activities closer to not only the airport, but the entryway to the city can actually be a reality by everybody if it's planned out properly. It'll be up to the city leaders to make it all work, but I do believe a very successful partnership has now begun. I also believe Central Mass needs a really big boost, and a slots parlor is far from a full casino. It's big enough to create jobs and stimulate growth, but small enough for Central Mass. I'd really like to see this happen. I think it's good for the area, for the economy as a whole. Thank you for coming. That's it.
Thank you very much, sir. Next, I have Stephen Mullaney.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and fellow commissioners. I'm Stephen Mullaney. I live in Leominster. I've spoken before you previously. My firm has done some consulting work for Cordish Company. I'm also a director of the North Central Chamber of Commerce. I'm here to speak to you about Bolton, and I'm echoing some of the comments that you heard from Town Administrator Don Lowe. In an article published in the Clinton Item newspaper, a weekly newspaper that covers Bolton, last Friday, it quotes Mr. Lowe as saying, "I believe the Board of Selectmen has positioned the town as well as it could in the event that Cordish wins the award." Mr. Lowe's comment then and his comment tonight speaks well of the cooperative way in which the Bolton Agreement came together. I also want to call your attention to the fact that Bolton is the only community that you, as a commission, designated as a surrounding community. Yes, there were several that Cordish had designated on their own, and then graciously they offered Fitchburg afterward, but Bolton was the one that you saw had a real need. And both parties, both Cordish and the Bolton Board of Selectmen, stepped up to the plate and worked very cooperatively on their agreement. In Bolton, there is the Bolton Center Historic Neighborhood blog, an online blog that tracks events in the community. And there's a post dated January 19th that says, "In our opinion, the selectman and town administrator did a very commendable job on the town's behalf in negotiating favorable terms for the impact agreement." I submit to you that both Bolton and Cordish should be congratulated, as you have congratulated them already, for working diligently. They worked very quickly when the clock started running on their 30-day period and accomplished that agreement by December 19th, well ahead of the deadline, and without even considering initiating arbitration processes. This speaks of the professionalism, integrity, and credibility of both Bolton and PPE. And I also want to add that even though Town Administrator Lowe is the only one from Bolton who has spoken here tonight, that does not reflect ambivalence by the town of Bolton. You saw Selectman Delaney come before your commission a couple of months ago, very much in tune and working hard on the issue. And if one were to go on the Town of Bolton website and look at the video of some of the meetings when Bolton discussed this issue, they would see that on December 19th, Selectman Delaney stated that, on balance, the agreement makes sense. And Chairman Stan Wysocki stated that the agreement is balanced and fair. And a member of the audience spoke up and thanked the board for going the extra mile. Thank you for considering these comments.
Thank you, Mr. Rowland. Next on my list is Betty Agin, A-G-I-N. Do I have that correctly? Betty Crenshaw. Leroy Crenshaw. All of these are people say they're from Springfield. So, Minister Glenn Turpin, Rhonda Latney, now this one I'm having trouble reading. Caitlin Naut.
Nault.
Nault, N-O, I'm sorry.
Hi, my name's Kayla Nault. I'm a local realtor in Fitchburg. I live in Fitchburg. I've lived there for 3 years. And I think that this casino is a good opportunity to create a lot of jobs that in turn is going to turn into more people that can afford to rent apartments, more people that can afford to buy houses, and that's going to be a really good boost that the Fitchburg economy needs. I think that the negative impacts are going to be minimal. The traffic in Fitchburg it's far enough out of the way that it's not going to have a huge effect. I think that the positives about the house prices going up is going to far outweigh the negatives. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now that concludes the list. Oh, no, it doesn't conclude the list. It almost concludes the list. And are these? One more. Okay. No, three more. Okay. David M. Roth.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is David Roth. I've been a resident of Fitchburg for most of my 52 years. My wife and I have brought up 2 children in Fitchburg. We now host international students that go to school in Fitchburg. I own a local business in Fitchburg, a marketing company that specializes in partnering businesses and nonprofits to benefit both the community and the economy, called For the Cause Marketing. And I'm also a volunteer in Fitchburg. I'm the Human Rights Commission chair on 6 other boards. And I have, I think, a pretty good pulse on Fitchburg and our needs. Fitchburg is a wonderful city. It's gone through some tough times. It's on its way back. Business is coming in, restaurants are opening, and I think that Massachusetts Live will add to that improvement in Fitchburg. Jobs, to me, are the key. One of the hearings that was held here last fall, there was a young lady who stood up, was a student in Fitchburg. I believe she was 19. And that hearing was held just a few days after Hudson, a company in Hudson, decided to eliminate 700 jobs. And as she said, and I agree, adding 600 jobs to this region, supporting Fitchburg in its comeback, is important, is very important. I don't want young people to say, I'd love to stay here, I'd love to support the growth of Fitchburg and the surrounding area, but I can't afford to because there are no jobs. So to me, that's the most important thing we can do. Added to that, my sister's family lives in Maryland, right near Maryland Live, and they have been great community neighbors, the Cordish companies, to the community around that casino. They support local nonprofits. As Cordish has said, they'll support the ARC and other nonprofits in the area, helping people with disabilities as well as other people that need jobs. So as an area, Fitchburg has Mount Wachusett Community College nearby, Fitchburg State University, the local technical school, Monty Tech. There are a lot of people looking for jobs permanent, good jobs to grow with. And I think, to me, that's the most important thing that we have going for us here. Am I a gambler myself? No. But to me, it's an entertainment venue. They've also promised to use their theater to support other nonprofits, to make it a community organization, and I take them at their word. I'm proud of our mayor, Lisa Wong, for making sure the agreement also has safeties involved, so that if any detrimental things happen to Fitchburg, we have cause. We can work through those. So my feeling is, let's give it a chance. Let's build the growth of Fitchburg, Leominster, and the area, and support our young people who need jobs, and not be here a year later saying, we turned it down, and why are people unemployed in our area? We need the income, we need the jobs. My small company is on the vendor list. Hopefully I'll do some business with Cordish companies. I need that, as other local businesses do. And I do know from friends of mine in Maryland, where my sister lives, a lot of small businesses there are benefiting from Maryland Live. And to me, I've looked at the other owners that are looking at building casinos elsewhere, the MGMs, the Foxwoods, etc., and none of them have the record that the Cordish family has on supporting the communities that they're in and being a positive influence in the areas where they run their entertainment organizations. So for me, it's a good company, it's a good cause, and it will help our region continue to grow, and hopefully Fitchburg will be an all-America city again in my lifetime, and this will help build the jobs that will do that, and I won't have to tell my kids there are no jobs to stay in the area. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, Mr. Michael Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman,
Good
for
evening,
letting
sir.
me speak. I'm actually from Clinton, Massachusetts, and I commute every day to Framingham. I work right outside Framingham State. I've heard a lot about jobs and other things. I'm going to talk about revenue and road improvements, specifically Route 117, which is the subject of the Bolton Agreement. An 8-mile commute for me takes 40 to 45 minutes on occasion. The state, for revenue reasons, other reasons, has done nothing. There's not even a study. I believe this casino will help address a lot of the infrastructure needs to one of the poorer parts of Massachusetts. Other communities in Massachusetts have other revenue sources. This one, I think, will help it. So I'm not a gambler, but I think that this has already been decided in several mechanisms. If there are issues that are adverse, this is what this commission is for. The casino money will improve things, jobs, roads, schools, infrastructure, and I think that's really the reason why I'm in support of it, specifically roads and schools, because we really are way behind in that, and I would hate to see the money go to Connecticut and other places. So I am in favor of it. I think you should also focus on a place that really needs it and a place where the infrastructure really needs it. Thank you for letting me speak. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, now that does complete the list that I have in front of me. If anybody thinks that they signed up and I didn't call their name, I'll hear from you now. Did you sign up, sir?
I was told that I was on the list. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm sorry then.
Just real quick, my name's David Gagney. I spoke to the board last time as a third-generation Leominster family business. I'm also a Fitchburg resident of almost 20 years. I would just like to say that tonight this shows the Cordish Group's good faith by negotiating surrounding community status with Fitchburg, also with Bolton and other towns. And it just once again shows that they mean what they say and they say what they mean. And they're willing to work with neighboring communities. And I support this. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. This is a movable feast. Ann Houghton, Howham. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
No, everybody mispronounced that, and it's Huffam. Ann
Huffam.
Huffam. I'm actually from Sterling, and Sterling, for some reason, was not on the list to be one of the towns involved with this, which is really surprising to me, as Sterling is literally miles away, much closer than Bolton or Fitchburg, especially the proposed area of where you're thinking about putting this in. Now, families like the other gentleman that was speaking are very much going to be impacted by this. And, you know, there's lots of church communities that are totally against this. And we feel that the traffic is going to be really bad. You know, we're off of Route 12 and, you know, 190. Crime is going to increase. You know, this completely reminds me of It's a Wonderful Life. When, you know, they come back to town and everything is just slots and, you know, girls and crime. And we do not want this in our towns. I mean, these are family towns and everyone's talking about jobs. What kind of jobs do you really think that these people are going to get? I don't see people with disabilities getting jobs at these places if they can't get jobs in other places now. I feel that it's just going to bring down the morale of all the towns surrounding this area. And it's not what, if you talk to families, they do not want this here. So please listen to the people. We're praying about this, and we do not want to see our towns go down in the dumps. And, you know, you think all these jobs, you know, people get addicted, like the other person said, and we just do not want this. There are other ways to get jobs, and I believe that the small businesses are going to be hurt by this. So that's what I have to say. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Thank very much all of you who spoke tonight, who expressed your opinions so succinctly and so thoughtfully. We're going to close this hearing in a minute, and as I said at the beginning of the hearing, that marks an important step because under the statute, the Commission must wait 30 days before issuing an opinion, a decision on the award of the license, 30 days after the last of these hearings closes. Tonight is the last of these hearings. When we close it, the clock begins to run. The Commission is eager to make this decision. We have 3 very strong applications and have spent a great deal of time analyzing them thus far. We'll spend some more time analyzing them, analyzing and taking into account the comments that all of you have made and that all the citizens who showed up at the other meetings have made, and do the best we can to make the right decision in 30 days. So thank you for your attendance. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your thoughtful comments. I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And the hearing is closed. Thank you all very much.